Hi Chris, how are you?
Hi Maddie, I'm doing well, thanks. You?
Yeah, good, thank you. Good. So just to start by introducing this call. So I'm Maddie, I'm a Senior Account Manager at Love Recruitment, and I'm joined this afternoon by Chris Roberts, who is the Business Development Director at Atlas Biomed.
Indeed.
Thanks, Chris.
Hi.
So, Chris, if okay, I know obviously we know each other personally, but it'd be really good just to start with who you are, your background, and of course your current role with Atlas Biomed.
Yeah, sure. So I'll do my best to not go through the entire CV because we'll be here all day. So currently, Business Development Director at Atlas Biomed, also Atlas Health Europe Limited. So they are a scientific tech company based in London. They specialise in two forms of testing to the UK market: DNA testing and gut microbiome testing. All relatively new fields or areas of interest to the UK market. But so my experience the last few years has been within these two forms of testing. Atlas is has a global footprint and presence to the market. So we have offices, our commercial offices based in London. We've also got offices based in Moscow in Russia, as well as new offices that opened in Tokyo, Japan, late 2019, early 2020, which is facilitating the Southeast Asian market. So predominantly Western Europe is where we support, but we're starting to kind of expand on a more global kind of global reach, I guess in that respect. In terms of my background was predominantly was within the fitness industry. To not go too far back, my first job within fitness, I was a member of a gym in Epsom and had been made redundant from an electrical engineering apprenticeship. And it was one of the sales managers at this gym who knew I was out of work and knew I had to pay money off of my car that gave me some part-time work at a gym. And I was just working front of house, doing the classic outreach, some sales consultations, etc. when needed. And I think within about 2 months, I was just completely hooked on being in this environment that I really enjoyed. I was always active, always enjoyed being in the gym. And I just thought kind of working in that environment, I thought absolutely brilliant. So I had opportunities to go back into that apprenticeship, I think 3 or 4 months down the line, and just declined it. I just thought it was to work within the fitness industry, do something that you really love and enjoy. Never looked back. I had done a few years at different clubs, different positions within operations, within sales. Really got a kind of a good grasp of how the gym industry and the fitness industry worked in the UK. I then had an opportunity that just popped up to try and move into a different field, because it's quite a big jump to go from a scientific, evidence-based kind of tech business to from fitness. So I'd gone for a role as a kind of a mid-level account manager at a diagnostic laboratory testing company. And for me, it was complete. I knew all of the physical elements of optimizing health and improving how important exercise was and things like that, and then always disregarded the nutritional side of it. It'd always be something that never really paid much interest to. But it was really eye-opening to then see you kind of dive into far more depth and more data about how the human body, your organs, the ecosystem works to improve and optimize health. So that was kind of where then that journey of working in the tech and diagnostic testing kind of element kind of kicked in. So I've been doing that for about 5 or 6 years now, I think, and then just gradually build it up to where we are today. So sorry, it's really long-winded, but yeah, that's kind of the overview there.
No, no, not at all. And as I say, you know, back in those fitness club days you spoke about, obviously we worked together. So, you know, I kind of watched your journey up, and yeah, what you've achieved is fantastic. And, you know, particularly sort of going from the fitness into the thing you're doing now is incredible. So, and just to, I guess, if I may, go through in a bit more detail about the two types of testing that Atlas offer. Again, I know you've gone through with myself and Tom with these, and we've actually, you know, been able to take them ourselves. But
Yeah.
just for everyone else, would you mind going through in a little bit more detail what they're all about?
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So yeah, there's two tests at Atlas that are the primary focus of the business. The first is the DNA test. The DNA testing market in recent years has become probably more saturated. So there are a lot of DNA testing companies, especially in the UK, that are trading. The most familiar brand or company that people would be aware of would be 23andMe. It's probably the most popular DNA testing company out there. If we're comparing apples with apples, we look at very similar markers or SNPs of interest. So we're looking at things such as ancestry, sport and fitness traits, the ability to your genetic predisposition to synthesizing protein, testosterone, the things that the kind of gym goers are more interested in. We're also looking at hereditary conditions. So this part of the test is really, it's more widely utilized by people that are interested in forms of family planning, things like that, or wanting to understand what their potential hereditary conditions are, carriers, statuses, etc. for certain conditions. And then we look at disease risks as well. So the disease risks, this is where we start to look at the USP within Atlas of doing the DNA test by itself offers some advantages, some information. But when using the test in combination, that's where an individual is getting the most benefit out of their the products. So the microbiome test, that by far is the leading product that Atlas offers, quite considerably. So the microbiome in general, most people in the UK are really familiar now that as they go down the supermarket aisles, they see a lot of products now where it's kind of promoting good gut, or you're seeing, you go down the refrigerated aisles and it's kefirs and probiotics and supplements to help bacteria grow within the gut, but many don't know what that means. Down the cereal aisles, you've got the big brands which are promoting good gut ranges because they're high in fibers. All things that are proven by scientific evidence and publications that can improve an individual's gut health. And what the microbiome test does is that looks at all of the bacteria that are present within the gut. Based off of that list of bacteria, we're looking at trying to understand and try and see exactly how the groups of that bacteria look. With the research showing that the more diverse the bacteria is within the gut, the better that ecosystem is going to perform in some of the day-to-day jobs and responsibilities that it needs. In addition to the bacteria list, we're also looking at probiotics. So if you've got individuals that are taking supplements, have been taking these sort of probiotic supplements for quite a while, or if you've got clients which are supplementing, it's a really good indicator to be able to tell whether or not these particular strains of probiotics are making it to the gut alive. So we do a lot of work with a lot of food companies where they look at utilizing these tests as a tool to complement and to a degree validate their own products and services. And the other thing we look at as well is dietary fibers. So we're looking at all of the individual fibers within the gut, and providing a list of those that are thriving and those that are lacking. So with all of that information that's provided, we provide the individual with personalised recommendations unique to their own microbiome. And it's not the case of a full kind of dietary overhaul. We're not restricting foods, that you're not telling them that you can't have all the good things, your chocolates and wine and things, all the things we enjoy. What you're instead doing is you're giving them a list of food ingredients to add into their existing diet, but you're educating the individual to not just say, okay, just start eating this. What you're doing is saying, by you eating this, you are going to positively influence this area of your, so you're going to encourage these particular bacteria which are known to be able to increase a certain element of diversity and increase these dietary fibers, and it would then result in your gut microbiome and your gut as an organ improving to X and Y Z degree. So it is quite a complicated product, and I've tried to simplify it as best as possible. But in truth, where it's being, we have quite an array of different types of businesses that we work with, and I think then that's testament to kind of what the test does, because we do sell these tests direct to consumer. So we do have one version of the results portal can be downloaded via an app on iOS or Android. Can be also downloaded via a web portal, but it's designed specifically for the end user or the customer in mind. So the results that you and Tom would have seen is designed for someone that isn't educated to a scientific or medical degree to interpret this information. It's given to them as a means of, here's a tool for you to use, here's some information, and it prompts you to be able to learn more about what's going on. But on the flip to that, we also work with clinicians of various different disciplines, from GPs, consultant specialists, all the way through nutritionists, dietitians. We're doing a lot of work with elite performance athletes and the medical boards involved with certain clubs and teams, sporting bodies, etc., all the way through to personal trainers and health coaches. So it's we spread ourselves quite thin in terms of who we work with and how we work with them. But nevertheless, the microbiome test in particular, that's the forefront of Atlas's focus.
Amazing. And yeah, I mean, a few things there. Again, coming from someone that's done the test, I think it's incredibly important to understand that, because yeah, as you say, you can go through a supermarket and you could be eating all of this stuff and thinking it's making a difference, but actually, is it? And how do we understand that? And I think that's a huge gap between most people, myself included, prior to taking the test. And the other thing I really enjoyed about the Atlas testing was the recommendations that were made, weren't these really expensive sort of supplements. It was just really basic, things you can add in, very inexpensive, very easy to understand. So yeah, really enjoyed my experience of doing them. And I guess just on that consumer point, for anyone that is listening, who could take advantage of these tests? Who would really benefit from them?
So it's interesting, because the kind of the demographic of the people that are using Atlas is the Atlas microbiome. Again, we're speaking about the microbiome test predominantly because that's the primary focus. The types of people that are using it, again, it can really dependent upon whether it's used in a clinical or a practice setting. Then you've got all of these forms of practitioners that can use these tests and benefit from their clients or their patients utilizing these tests. In terms of the general public using it, I would say that probably more often than not, it's those that are individuals that are already to a degree conscious of their health, exercising frequently and regularly, conscious of what they're eating, already, I guess, to a degree, utilizing these sort of supplements or products that are out there on the market to help improve one's health. But it's not necessarily limited to that. We see a lot of customers that, and to point out, obviously, that this test isn't a diagnostic assessment, but we do see a lot of customers as well that have been having issues related to their guts for some time, and they look at using the Atlas test as a means of a tool to be able to better educate themselves as to how they can improve their own gut health. but then done in partnership with then reverting back to their practitioner or clinician that they're working with. So yeah, it's a real wide net that we cast in terms of who we work with, but predominantly it's the fit and healthy that we see that use these tests more often.
Amazing. Well, hopefully that's quite a few of our listeners, being that we specialise within the fitness sector. Amazing. Now, a question that I hate to bring up, but I have to bring up. How, if at all, has COVID affected you guys? And is there any changes that you've made during this time and potentially could, share with others to advise them too?
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, the first and the obvious one is the fact that everyone's working from home. I've been relegated upstairs as the other half's occupied the other room. But no, in terms of it was something that we had to adapt to quite quickly in terms of getting everyone set up and ready to work from home. It's one of those things. It's difficult when you're in an office environment and you're used to having that face-to-face interaction on a day-to-day basis, and Zoom, things like Zoom or Teams or things like that has been really beneficial. And I think it still doesn't quite change it from the norm of what we a lot of us longing for face-to-face interaction and working together. But what we have done as a business is been able to adapt, like most have, really quickly to be able to work from home. The main concern that the business had at the beginning was, would we be able to adapt, and would we be able to still do our day-to-day job and workload remotely? And we've been able to do that. We've been I'd actually think that across the team, across the departments that we have within Atlas, that we're working closer than we were before. So that's things that have gone really well. In terms of what's happening, I guess, in the marketplace, the uniqueness and the fact that the microbiome test is quite a niche product anyway. I think what COVID has done is it's accelerated people's wishes to take more control of their own health.
Yeah.
I think, and I can't speak for all, but I think what a lot of people have done is realised that they need to take better care of their own health. And 100%. like me, desperate to get back into the gym and start throwing weights around again, and to start playing football again, we found other means of being able to stay active and keep ourselves occupied. And I think that with the microbiome test and what it's done is it's helped a lot of people is to start taking a level of guesswork out of what they're doing, and helping optimizing and improving one's health and their gut health in particular. So we've done well enough over the course of the last almost 12 months now with these significant changes. But we have also noticed that there were key markets that we were looking to enter into in the UK, across Europe. A lot of big projects that we were really hopeful to have this up and running in 2020, and they were seemingly parked. So hopefully we're able to get these ones up and running again. So it's definitely, like most businesses, we've had issues. We've had knock-on effects of certain markets that we're trying to work with, not necessarily launching or being as fruitful as we'd first hoped. But yeah, we've been able to adapt well enough and evolve well enough so that we're able to keep doing what we're doing. And yeah, that's it. So we're adapting and evolving.
Amazing. And yeah, I think, as you say, there's a few very small benefits to come out of this, and hopefully if more people are interested in their health and particularly taking advantage of a test like yours, that's a great thing to come of it. And finally, what's the future hold for Atlas Biomed? All being well, of course, what's in store for 2021 and beyond?
Okay, so we've Atlas have most recently we've just recently secured investment, which is something which has been a long outstanding project for our board of directors. So very happy that was concluded in November of last year. The investors that we're partnered with are really interested specifically in the at-home testing market. And they can really see that there's some fantastic value into the microbiome test in particular within the European markets. So in terms of what does 2021 and onwards look like, we're in a really exciting stage now where we're going to start seeing some quite significant rapid growth. We were growing year on year quite rapidly anyway, and the fact that we've now got some additional support and expertise helping us kind of drive that forward. We're anticipated to start working a lot quicker, open ourselves up into to new markets, new countries, quite quickly. Said Japan covering the Southeast Asian market, Western Europe, we're expanding there quite rapidly as well, but we're looking at other parts of the world as well. So we're excited to see us really kind of becoming more of a globally recognized player in terms of the at-home testing market. But yeah, so I think what we're looking to see is a lot of new faces joining the business, a lot of work, but it's all really exciting, especially as we come out of this. We're hopefully starting to come out of this dip of 2020. That fingers crossed, yeah, that it could hopefully prove to be a really successful year for us this year and into 2022.
Amazing. Well, it sounds like you've got some really exciting things coming up, and as I say, fingers crossed, but all is looking a lot more positive, and that's fantastic growth for you guys. So really excited to see that happen. And if anyone does want to find out more about the testing, are they okay to reach out to you? And we'll obviously direct them to your website when we post this as well, but anywhere else they can reach out to?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm happy for anyone that can contact us directly to learn more information. As expected, the product is really detailed, and it's a lot to try and cram into a 30-minute call. So yeah, I'd be happy to provide anyone interested with access to the demo accounts to see how the product looks, and if they would like to discuss more information, more than happy to help. So the best email address to reach me on, which I'll provide you after as well, is partners@atlasbiomed.com, and that will come through to my team, and they'll be able to support and help with any inquiries that anyone may have.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time, Chris. Appreciate you're very busy, so really appreciate it. And yeah, take care. I'm sure we'll speak again soon.
Thank you, Maddie. Good to see you. Thank you again.
And you. Bye.
Bye.